Hi, Ray Calero here from ADV SEO Services. Today I wanted to do a quick video to talk to you a little about digital marketing if you've got a small business. I had an interesting experience the other day, which I guess is the motivation for doing this video and the article that I've written, which there'll be a link below this video for you to have a look if you're interested. I got a call from my mother-in-law last week, and you just got to imagine she's a gorgeous little Italian lady, and she rings me up and she says that her central heater is has gone bunk, and she's at a loss. She's doesn't know who to call. And so she rings me up and she says, "Can you find somebody to help fix it for me?" And I don't know if you know too many Italian ladies, but she's a crack up with how she speaks. But that's another story. Anyway, so what do? Just like anyone does, and we're all trained to now, is I hit up Google and do a search for central heater repairs and so forth, and up come a list of 10 websites. I check out the first 4 and ring one and book the service for her, and she's since got it fixed. But the key thing that stood out to me was how it's changed since 25 years ago compared to now. My mother-in-law actually did try and find someone to help her out. But the people she tried to ring were no longer in business, and she pretty much gave up pretty quickly because she was using one of these old things, the good old yellow pages. I can't believe I still have one lying around, and this is only half of it. So that gets us to a point now, as good old Dorothy said, we're not in Kansas anymore. We don't have yellow pages. We don't get the yellow pages anymore. There's no need for it. We've got Google. So it's really interesting now. How do your clients find you if not for a yellow pages ad? Because let's face it, that's what it was 20 odd years ago. I remember renovating my bathroom and on our first house, and I needed a lot of varying bathroom supplies, tiles and baths and you name it. So I would jump onto the yellow pages, flick through all of the pages, and start ringing a few people. But it's all changed now. Now, when you search on Google, Google's already deciding which of those top 10 listings that you're going to have a look at. And 91%, I think the stats were, of searches only have a look at the first page. So unlike the yellow pages where you could flick through 5, 6, 7 different pages of all service providers for what you're looking for, now it's changed. Google's actually deciding for you which 10 websites it thinks are the best for you to consider. So it's really changed. So it leaves me to ask you the question, how do your current customers find you? You might be throwing up a few pay-per-click ads here and there, or perhaps you've got a good word of mouth network and you're getting good business that way. But what are you going to do if you actually want more? What if you want to grow your business to the next level? What are you going to do to try and attract more customers? Look, in the old days, people would put bigger ads to try and increase their attention, take more space on the yellow pages page. But now, if you want to grow your business considerably more, what are you going to do? And the answer is you need to go where your current prospects are just like I did for central heater repairs, your current prospects are actively searching on page 1 of Google. You need to be on page 1 of Google. Now, I know when you search on Google, there are advertisements on Google as well, but studies show that people are actually more inclined to click on the organic or the free listings as opposed to those paid ads. So you really need to get your website listed on page 1. So the answer is, obviously you need to be on page 1, but you need to do that with what's called search engine optimization. And that, what SEO is essentially a systematic and disciplined process to increasing the exposure of your website and letting Google know and sending Google all the right signals that you're worthy to be ranked on page 1. Now, you do that through 3 main components. You need to completely technically optimize your website. You need to be constantly delivering and producing outstanding content that your users are going to love. And you need to reach out to other websites online so that others can start sharing your information and naturally link to you. Hence, give Google the evidence and the proof that you're worthy of being ranked on page 1. So with all that said, search engine optimization is more of a marathon than a sprint. You can't just say, I'm going to employ an SEO strategy and expect to be ranked number 1 on page 1 within a couple of weeks. It just doesn't happen anymore. It did 10, 15 years ago, and it was quite enjoyable back then. You could rank a website relatively quickly. But now with the millions and millions of websites competing for that page 1 in Google, it's getting a lot more difficult. So search engine optimization is the vehicle that is going to help transport your website onto page 1 of Google, and you need to look at it for the long term. It is a race. Now, if you search up Google some of your main keywords for your business, now you should, after watching this video, go ahead and do it. Think about some of the main keywords that people would type into Google to look for your product or service, and just see who's ranking on that first page. No doubt some of your competitors are. And I can almost guarantee that those competitors of yours are actually already undertaking search engine optimization. The question is how far along are they in the race compared to yourself? And the thing for you to note is that you really need to join in on this race, because eventually it's going to be even more competitive than it is currently to get on those top 10 listings on Google. It's not like the old days with the yellow pages. It's okay if you were on the second or third page, because people would readily flip yellow pages. They don't on Google. You don't on Google. People rarely click to page 2 or 3 on Google. All the action is on page 1. And if you have a small business and you want to grow that business even more, then you really need to consider commencing a search engine optimization campaign so that you can send all the positive and the right signals to Google, so that then they can start seeing that you're worthy of being on that elusive page 1 of Google. I hope this video helped you understand a little bit more about the need for SEO. But I go through it in a lot more detail on an article that I've just released. So below you should see a link directly to the blog post. So go over there, have a read of that, which I think you'll find quite useful in helping you understand a little bit more about this modern day form of marketing.